Hey guys, we're going to wait just a minute, let Facebook do their thing, and inform more people. As you come in, say hello and comment down below. Tell me where you're from, and we'll get started here in just a few minutes. We're going to talk about how you can get every single thing that you think you want. Literally, I'm not kidding you. I wouldn't do that. When you come in, say hello and post down below. Tell me where you're coming in from, and we'll get started here in just a moment as Facebook notifies people and people continue to roll in the room. Make sure and comment down below. That way I know you're here. So, yeah, we got some people here. Hey, DeWitt. DeWitt's one of our Project Stay Home members, and I bet you DeWitt would tell you that you need to get over to the link above my head to jamesray.com and to enroll, because we're rocking the world. Anyway, I'll tell you a little bit more about that a little bit later. Hello, Kelly, Patricia, Gail. So look, we live in turbulent times. Am I right? We live in very disruptive times. And so many people are trying their best to figure out how they're going to get through these turbulent times. And what I find consistently in my coaching is that the vast majority of people are not going to get through these turbulent times. Let me just be straight up. And they're not going to sail through in flying colors. And that's unfortunate, but it's true. You know, I read just recently that Starbucks is closing 400 locations in the U.S. Starbucks, all right? And they're a pretty successful business, but what they're saying is that they cannot bounce back from the COVID craziness and the shutdown. And so, you know, Starbucks is dealing with this. What are you dealing with? You know, most people that I coach and I talk to are dealing with, how do I come back? And the unfortunate situation is that they're attempting to deal with this based upon their conditioning. Now, let me tell you what I mean. You know, since the time you were born, hey, Lori, hey, Anand, since the time you were born, you have been conditioned into third dimensional reality. But the fact is that there are multiple dimensions. In fact, you know, as best as I can tell, there are 9 dimensions just in operation within the third dimension. But that's a whole nother conversation. What quantum physics now tells us, thank you, Anand, I appreciate you sharing this every single week. You know, be like Anand, just hit that share button down there. If this helps you, you know, help me, help you, help those you love and care about. Just share this for those people who need to get through this turbulent time, because I can help them. I know I can, and I can help you. And that's my mission and purpose in life. So let me come back. There are multiple dimensions in which we operate. You know, based upon our current measurement system, what we know is that and this is straight up science, guys, quantum physics. Physics is the mysticism of the 21st century. What we know is that everything has a frequency, and it goes from about 2 cycles per second, which is in the visible realm of material world, third dimension, all the way up to what our instruments can measure as 10 billion cycles per second. And that's not all. That's just all the measurement devices that we have, or the capability of the measurement devices that we have. It's infinite. And so everything is existent. Einstein, right here and now. And so because you've been conditioned to frame yourself, to frame your world, to frame your business, to frame your life by your sensory factors, what I can see, touch, taste, smell, and what did I miss? Hear. What I can hear, taste, see, touch, and smell. You define yourself by, thank you, Susan, by these sensory factors. And you define your life and your world by your sensory factors. Well, I don't see any money in my bank account. I don't have any money. Well, that's just a flat out lie. Because I don't care if you have, quote, money in your bank account, you still don't have money in your bank account. I've talked about this in previous lives. I'm not going to get into it here today. You can go back and find them in the feed. Because the money you think you have in your bank account is not even real. It's just an idea. Money is an idea. Nothing more, nothing less. I don't have any energy. 43% of the population of the United States of America say they're too exhausted to perform in their daily work. 43%. I don't have any energy. Well, you are energy. So the only time you're not totally vibrant, vital, and alive is because you are doing something. DeWitt, are you listening to me here, man? Because this is the question you asked last week in Project Stay Home. You are doing something to cut yourself off from that infinite energy source that's wanting to come through you. And so, here's the big point, is that so many people came through COVID, went into COVID craziness, and it's just crazy. Oh, I might get a virus. I've talked about this so many times. I'm not going to talk about it here again today. But what that tells you, what it tells you about you, is if you're wearing a mask, if you got fearful, if you locked down, it's because you self-identify with this physical body. Because there was no militia and there was no force to get you to go into voluntary house arrest. You did that of your own voluntary will. Why? Fear. Why do you have fear? Because you define yourself as this physical body. You are not a physical body. You have a body. You're utilizing a body. Are you with me on this? Your infinite intelligence, an infinite potential, an infinite capability, having a single pointed experience coming from an infinite wave state in quantum superposition all the way down to a particle that's called James Arthur Ray right now. But I'm not James Arthur Ray. That's an experience I'm having. And you're not DeWitt Tripp either. That's an experience you're having. And I'm not white. This is not white. I've never seen a white person. If I saw a white person, that'd be scary, right? This is black. I've never seen a black person. This is black, all right? Everyone is different shades of brown or tan, or some people are really kind of white, but no one's white. And yet here we are defining ourselves by this experience. Well, I don't have any money in the bank. That's not who you are. Ask most people who they are, and I promise you 99.9% of the people will answer the question by something they do or something they have. You are not what you do. That's just an experience you have. You're not what you have. You're just experiencing a third dimensional reality called a certain car. You're just experiencing a third dimensional reality called a business. You're just having this experience. Well, I'm a mom. You're not a mom. That's the experience. That's a role that you're playing. Well, I love my kids. Well, you can love your kids, but they're not yours. And none of us belong to anyone else. We belong to God, and we're having an experience. And so, look, you've been conditioned from the time you were born to operate in the third dimensional sensory-driven reality, which is 1% of all that exists, called visible light. And you were conditioned in the early years by your parents. But wait a second. Were your parents telling you lies? Yeah, they were telling you lies, but they weren't doing it on purpose, because they were conditioned by their parents, who were conditioned by their parents, who were conditioned by their parents, who were conditioned by their parents. And nobody ever stops to ask the question, wait a second, where did this come from? Is this real? Well, if you can't see it, touch it, taste it, smell it, or hear it, it's real. It's not real. Okay. Let's test that theory. Now, you say you can't hear music because I don't have a microphone on today. I'm just going by the phone microphone. So there's music. I'm going to tell you there's music playing in this room right now. I don't hear any music, James. Neither do I. But that doesn't mean music isn't here. If you bring a receiver into this room, and you turn it to a certain station and you plug it into speakers, you'll hear music playing in this room. The music is not in the receiver. The music is in the atmosphere. Are you with me on this? You say there are not microwaves in this room right now. I say there are microwaves in this room right now. Now, none of us would put our head in a microwave and turn it on. I hope not anyway. If you're really wise, you don't even use a microwave because that stuff will kill everything that's valuable. Straight up. All right, that's a whole other topic for another day. You know, you will never not catch me or Bersabeh using a microwave. No, no, no. You know, because we like nutrients. But nonetheless, there are microwaves in this room right now. They're bombarding your room too and your nervous system, regardless of where you are, even if you're outside. And you say, well, James, I can't see them. I can't touch them. I can't taste them. I can't hear them, you know. So they can't be real. Real. Yes, they are real. You know how they're real? Because you're watching me on your telephone and your smartphone is picking up the waves that are in the atmosphere. And they're all around you all the time. Otherwise, your phone wouldn't work. So don't tell me that if I can't see it, touch it, taste it, smell it, or hear it, that it's not real. It is real. There's so much you can't see, touch, taste, hear, or smell. And that is all around you all the time. And so here's the point. Everything that you think you want, you already have. Whoa, James, I don't know. You know, I was kind of tracking with you there. That one's a stretch. Well, you know, then stretch. You think you want more money. Money is not pieces of paper. You know, if you've heard me on previous lives, pieces of paper are worthless. They only have value because we've agreed that they have value. And we could change that agreement in a nanosecond. So what is money? Money is an idea. That's all it is. Money is an idea. And if you don't have the money that you think you want or you think you need, it's because your ideas aren't there yet. You have to become bigger and more broadly vibrating, if you will. And that's not airy-fairy, that's science. Remember all the frequency levels. You have to raise your frequency to a level to embrace it. You don't have to attract it. You don't have to create it. You have to expand into it. I don't have the health that I have. I don't have the strength that I want. I don't have the relationship that I want. Everything you think you want, you already have. Everything you think you need is already here. You know, it's not in the future somewhere because Einstein said time, past, present, future. Time does not exist as we know it. Einstein, I'm quoting here. Time does not exist as we know it. All time, past, present, future, coexist simultaneously right now. It's all here. And if you're not experiencing it, it's all experience. If you're not experiencing it right now, it's because you're not big enough to embrace the experience. You're putting your power on, well, Donald Trump wasn't ready to, how many people have I heard? Donald Trump wasn't ready to deal effectively with the COVID craziness. It's not about that. You know, it's China's fault. You know, it started in China and came over. Well, first of all, it didn't start in China. It started in the Carolinas, but that's another topic. And it went to China and then it came back, but it's not anyone's fault outside of it doesn't matter. How did you deal with it? How did you deal with it? Because you've heard me say multiple times, the greatest virus that we were confronted with was not a COVID virus. It was the mental virus of fear that spread across the planet in 2 weeks' time. Powerful virus. And until we get beyond the powerful virus that controls our lives and keeps us stuck, then we remain in prison, a prison of the five senses. Man, I hope you're getting this. You're in a prison of the five senses, and you say, I am my body. And so you see people investing their entire life in their body. And let me tell you something, guys, your body's going away. It's going away right now. I don't care how many weights you lift, and I lift weights all the time. It doesn't matter how much you take care of it, and I take good care of it. I'm not suggesting you don't do that, but what I'm suggesting is that you don't self-identify with something that is not real. It's going away. And to the degree we self-identify with our business, our body, our bank account, our body, any of those things, hey, Anthony, good to see you, then we identify and live in the prison of our own making. But here's the good news. You're the jailer, and you got the keys. When would now be the time to take your power back? When would now be the time to turn away from the sensory factors and start to operate from a higher awareness? The sensory factors are a 1% reality. 1% called visible light. There's so much more in this infinite spectrum. And yet we regulate ourselves. It's not your fault, but it is your responsibility. It's your responsibility to move beyond your conditioning, because you see, you can change a habit. University College of London tells us we can change any habit in 66 days through commitment and discipline over 66 days. But you can change a habit, but it's often next to impossible to escape your conditioning. And most people never, ever do this. Will you do this? Look, if this resonates with you and you're ready to move your frequency, literally, scientifically, not foo-foo wise, but literal, scientific, based in hardcore physics, to a higher level, a higher dimension, and to live from a higher state of awareness, then let me help you. Let me help you. The link right above my head, jamesred.com, will take you to my website. Click on store, and you know, the greatest way, there's so many ways you can work with us. You can work with me one-on-one in a coaching situation, space available. You can work with me on groups. You can work with me online. The easiest way to get started is Project Stay Home, where you work with me and Bersabeh every single Thursday, live via Zoom. We record all those lives so you won't miss anything if you happen not to be there. You get access to all the recordings, and it's $13.97 a month. Look, that's less than HBO. And we're doing this because we want to help and support you. That's our purpose. That's our mission. You know, just click the link above my head and come join us. Several of our members are here in the group, and I'm sure they will do a shout out and say that they would recommend that you join as well. They'd probably love to have you, because we're building this group of leaders, different way of thinking around the globe, and God knows we need it. We live on the precipice right now of the most exciting time. This is the most exciting time to be alive, guys, because we're about ready for the next turning. We're about ready for the big shift. But please understand, every significant breakthrough is preceded by a breakdown. It's not going to be easy. It has to get messy before it gets magnificent. And we're in the mess right now. But I don't look at the world and say it's going to hell in a handbasket. What I do is I look at the world and say we're going through transition. The old system has to break down before the new can emerge. And you're a part of that. And you're here to experience this in history. This special, important time in history. And if you have kids, let me tell you something. You know, if you have children, you better be paying attention, because unless and until we shift this way we're headed, what's the life of your children going to be like? What's the future for your children? And that should motivate you, if nothing else, to say, wait a second, I better get on board. I better get into the game. I better disconnect from the lies and the old game and start to play a new game, because unless and until we turn this ship around, guys, our kids are not, and I don't have children, you know, but our kids are not going to have a very bright future, because we're losing less and less we're of our freedom, or I should say more and more of our freedom every single day. And if you think that's going to stop, think again. It's not. So let me help you. God bless you. Thank you for being here. My mission, my purpose is to support you and to help you in remembering who you are and to help you take your power back from the powers that have stolen it from you and have conditioned you to be in jail, in prison, in a prison of the five senses when you're so much more than that. I look forward to connecting with you in the future. Lots of love. God bless and have a masterful day. I'll talk with you really soon. Hopefully I'll see you on Thursday night in Project Stay Home. Take care.